Welcome to Mandira.
Conversations with Sue Longo
and Maggie Taylor. Why is the energy so good right now?
It is good. Why is it so good? Well, first, everything feels fresh. There was a pretty big reset on March 20th. Spring equinox, astrological new year, which always occurs on spring equinox when the sun moves into Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac. So it always gives the vibe of new beginnings. Number one. Number two, it's a 1 year, a universal 1 year in numerology. So if you don't know this, it's 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6. 2026 is a universal 1 year. And that is also that kind of cosmic fresh start, new beginnings, lots of momentum carried in that as well. Year of the fire horse. We've talked about that. I mean, there are kind of this one after the other of reasons why things can feel really brand new right now. And probably the last piece that has a much smaller window than the universal 1 year and the year of the fire horse is all planets are direct as of March 20th. Now, what I mean by that is, any given day, a planet could be in retrograde. And we have discussed retrogrades in past podcasts, but just to note, it's not necessarily, retrogrades are always thought to be like the planets going backwards. It's really not. There's just this perspective of that based on sun and earth placement relative to that planet. However, as of March 20th, when Mercury, when Mercury turned direct, it marked a window of time, the beginning of a window, that all planets will be direct until May 3rd, when Pluto retrogrades.
And when all planets are direct, what does that do for us? What does that feel like?
It's, again, it's kind of compounding that feeling of I have wind at my back. Right. Things are moving
like
me
forward. Alignment, because things are moving forward. So spring equinox, fire horse, 1 year, all planets direct. When has that ever happened before?
All of those things?
All of those never, right?
I don't think ever. Think so. Right. I mean, we've looked at components of combinations. Right. Like we've looked back, when was there a universal 1 year in the same year as a fire horse? It has happened, but it is not a recurring thing.
Right.
In terms of planetary, like all of them being direct, that does happen every year. However, when the typical window for that is in January. So like late January, February, but very rarely are all planets direct during Aries season.
And on the equinox.
Exactly.
Like on the day of.
That, it's
like a big change.
Yes,
that
like
day.
A super light switch.
Right.
Like click.
Right.
And that can feel overwhelming as well as empowering, I think.
Right.
It's if you are aware of all of those things happening at once, what I want to do, what I feel like I can do armed with that information is capitalize on it, right? What can I do? How can I use it to move the needle on my manifestation efforts, which are I'm always,
Yeah, we say
I'm
that. I
always
know.
creating.
We're always creating.
Mm-hmm.
Earth is always creating. We're
Mm-hmm.
always creating. So how do you use, right, this really, I said the word alignment, but there's an alignment of cohesive energy that's, you said wind at your back, that's helping you,
Yes.
right, get into the flow of moving forward. So how do we use that to our best right now? And it's always going to be different depending on who you are and what your circumstances are. But as a collective, if you're looking to create, this is a really good time, right? It's ease to it.
There would be ease but when you think about when there's a push, if you resist, it will be difficult, right? That'll be probably more difficult than normal times when there's.
It's like go with that. You said the wind at your back.
Yes,
like
you have to move.
Right.
Let go a little or a lot, but you need to like almost. There's an acceptance to it,
right?
And let it help you. And I feel like that is a very allowing.
Whoops. Good. Keep going.
Allowing help, allowing for that kind of cosmic push to guide you, to help you move forward, is not something I feel like we as humans necessarily want to do. We live in friction, and I think it's natural to do that. So when we aren't behaving in that way, it feels uncomfortable.
When we aren't moving from friction.
Yes, when we're not.
It's like it should be hard.
Right. It should
have
be
to push this. I should have to work hard, do more, be better.
Yes.
And this energy isn't.
No,
calling for that. It's the opposite.
Yeah, right? You would behoove you to not behave in that way. Let it rip. Let it take you.
It's so aligned with a meditation I was doing this morning and just receiving, and the energy was saying to me, it doesn't have to be so hard. Right. I was talking about it in class this morning. It doesn't have to be so hard. And I think, we talk a lot about in the spiritual space of letting go, non-resistance, allowing, let them, all of that. But as a conscious creator, it's so important to be anchored in your intention. And that's been coming through a lot the last few days as well, just anchoring into who am I? What do I want? And why am I doing what I'm doing? Like, what is the truth of what I want to experience? So this idea of the wind at your back and getting pushed forward, I love that. The power piece comes in when you're like, this is who I am. This is what I want. I'm making a decision that I'm going to be this, and then letting go, right? Taking an action step or two without it being like, I'm going to make this happen, right? You take the action steps and let go.
Well, as we're talking, I'm thinking rather than the wind at my back, it's almost like a wave that you can get. Like that, you can get disoriented if you do not have like a
direction.
Or like a true north of sorts, right? That you can lose. It's powerful, and perhaps some people are feeling disoriented, as opposed
That's
to.
What I was going to ask. Yeah. Do you feel like I would assume that we could feel very overwhelmed right now because it's a lot. I mean, even when we moved to the fire horse and the one we talked about that a lot, like it's a lot of energy. So you can feel anxious or overwhelmed, or what am I supposed to do? Or everyone says that all this energy is good to manifest. I'm not manifesting anything. I feel like I'm going in circles. Like, I think it can be, I don't want to say disorienting, but overwhelming. So what do we do if that's the situation? It's like if you're feeling overwhelmed by it all. Right.
So again, the thought of utilizing some sort of, I can't think of another analogy other than like my daughter dances, and when she turns, like you always have to spot, right? Or you'll get dizzy, or and so you need a spot.
Right.
And so what is that? What does that look like? It's different for everybody.
You know, in yoga, it's your drishti. It's your focus with your eyes. It's where are you looking? Where are you going? And it, in like the physical practice, those of you guys who practice, you know that it helps you balance.
Okay.
Right. So when you focus your eye, it helps you balance. But also when you talk about like your spot, your drishti, like your nervous system is attached to how you see. Right. So in our practice, when we're working with the nervous system directly, you want to bring the nervous system down, you soften your eyes, you soften, you keep a gaze, but you soften it. And when we're in fight or flight and nervous and feeling all that anxious energy, what happens with our eyes, which is like so similar to your spot that you're saying, is to keep you safe, your eyes look around a lot. Eyes are open wide. Bright lights, like everything, you're looking around to make sure that you're safe. So having your focus, but softening into it, keeping that spot.
Well, and recently, do you remember I just had a bout of vertigo? Oh, and yeah. What happens when when you experience a vertigo, what's the word I'm looking for? Episode, I guess is the right word to call it. What happens is I've had treatments done to help like realign with the crystals, which I think is kind of funny, the crystals in my ears. Yeah. And what happens is that your eyeballs they dart when you're having like, isn't that interesting?
Wow. Yeah.
So when you are disoriented, like it's or you're dizzy, your eyeballs are kind of shaking a little bit. Yeah. And they have like almost a tremor kind of, until it kind of rights the ship. And so I had a physical experience of that kind of like disorientation, dizziness, and I've since come out of it, but it was right around Equinox. It was when all of this energy was coming in.
Right.
So I had a physical manifestation.
So you had a physical manifestation. Right. So here we are.
So with that in mind, you have different spot techniques, right? Right. So you're talking about nervous system resetting, right. Grounding we always talk about, and there are many ways to do that.
Right. And well, I mean, grounding, we've talked about that.
I know.
A million times, yes. Right? How do you, what are the practices that you feel safe and connected to Earth? So like even with the vertigo, you probably had to slow down. I know you didn't want to, but you probably had to a little bit and come into
maybe a
kind
little
of grounding yourself more. So, grounding, of course, but also stepping into the power of like, if you're focused on something, I'm always going to zoom back to we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So the power of it is where your attention goes, your energy flows. Where your attention goes, energy flows. And I think our subconscious will take our attention, the outside world, all of that, all of the time. So the power is, where am I putting my attention?
Right.
Because your attention is your creative power. So where your attention goes, energy flows. Like, again, I know I just said it. I'm going to say it again because it's like a reminder again, because my mind will, the monkey mind will jump around, subconscious programming to all of that other stuff. So again, the spot, coming back to your direction in where your attention goes. So from there, creating from that attention, right?
And creation, I think the concept of creation, manifestation, whatever word you want to use, is, I know personally I'm able to, the creation happens and I recognize it. I know a lot of times I don't think everyone's creating all the time. It's the giving it recognition that this has happened is super important. But being able to maintain and hold the vibration for it to not basically
shift away,
recede.
And escape. I think that's what we were talking about earlier, is well, gratitude is such a,
Mm-hmm.
it's very often used in this space because it's accurate.
Right.
So, finding gratitude in each of the moments, even when we don't understand
Mm-hmm.
why this is happening, but you get to define your experience and you get to define really the meaning of everything that's happening. That's
Mm-hmm.
your experience, that's your power to do that. So when we don't know like what's happening around us, or we don't necessarily like it, it's finding the gift in it, finding the gratitude in it.
Right. And
Right.
that might be an element of the manifestation
I
comes
saw that
and
candle.
being grateful for it.
Yeah.
Um, but in addition to that, there's a concept in manifestation about the version of yourself that is in the right frequency to hold the manifestation. So we always talk about the vessel, that being able to maintain the vibration to not only create but keep it close,
right.
keep it here, to stay in that frequency. And for me, what my plan is right now, what I'm doing during this period of the wind at my back,
The
the wave, is I am thinking about the version of myself that holds the frequency of
who she is,
like who she
what
is.
she's like.
What is she like? What does she look like? What does she think?
Mm-hmm.
What does she feel?
Mm-hmm.
And like, and what she does. And
How does she dress?
That's right.
How does she wake up in the morning?
And how does she speak?
Right.
In what manner, and how and what she is willing to kind of accept and put up with in terms of everything.
Her boundaries
Exactly.
and how she holds herself, how she stands.
Mm-hmm. Guess what my first thing was?
What?
She dances.
Better get dancing.
I know. But these are the thoughts I'm having now. This is the kind of, all right,
this is fun.
Yes.
This is a way to play with it, as opposed to, I think too, a lot of the spiritual stuff is like, well, just feel that way and you'll get it, and just stay, be this frequency. Oh, you don't have it because you're not that frequency. And I think manifesting, I think you're working with spiritual energy is fun.
I know.
And when you think it's hard, because it can feel that way.
We were just talking about it. Right. Like, it'll be hard because you feel like it's hard.
Because you feel like it's hard, right? Yeah. That was what came to me this morning. Like, it doesn't, just let it be easy. And I think what you're saying, like this visualizing her and what is it, it kind of takes you out of yourself, right? For a moment, and it's out of, but we want to be mindful about like who you are now. Well, it's two things. One, you're already that, right? You're already that. And I don't want the visualization to be when I'm just dancing, then I'll be happy. No. Then I'll be her. I'm not dancing, I'm not her. We want to be in it, like in the net. That's the timeline shifting we were talking about earlier, is like whatever's happening, I'm her now. Well, and I think that's the right. So when you say, not you, I just mean the version of yourself, you are still yourself. Right. It's just there are versions. And it's not that I'm a different person because I've now chosen to, dance around the kitchen, which I did in fact do today. Good girl. But I don't mind the phrasing of that, because I feel like it's not when I become her. I'm accessing the version of myself instead of changing myself to be a different person. I love that accessing. Yes. Because that's, when we think about like creating from the soul level, it's really about being as much of your soul as possible. So you're accessing that part of yourself that The reason you want it is because you are it.
Right.
Right. So I have a Lumerian crystal that keeps sliding around, but I don't want it to leave me. So I love that because it's so aligned with becoming all of who you really are. And I think that this world we are born these authentic beings who are perfect, and life happens, and there's karmic reasons and soul contract reasons and ascension reasons and all of that, but we forget.
Right.
And when you let yourself have fun and imagine what would she be like, it's like a permission slip to be in that energy, to let it in. It's really like calling in parts of your soul.
Well, and very inner child, because it's almost like, what do you want to be when you grow up kind of thing. There's and we were talking before about sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. You have to like play dress up about it.
For sure.
And that's a good time. I mean, I started this list with the full intention of having a blast doing it.
That's good.
I know.
So this energy right now, with everything that we're saying, it's like an amazing time for the timeline shifts.
Yes.
Right. And like, what is timeline? It's the pattern, what's this word? Like, you're moving forward. This
conveyor belt
of your life.
That's what I thought
I guess,
when you did
that feels like it feels not fun.
Okay.
It's the trajectory of what is happening in your life. And you talked about frequency. So we talk about shifting. What you're talking about is embodying this wholeness of yourself. Person who dances, the person who's free, the person who feels good, who doesn't worry, right? All of those things. The more you embody it, it shifts your trajectory. It shifts your experience. So your conveyor belt goes up. And the more you hold it, we talk about the container, the stronger the container gets, because your nervous system aligns with it. So this is a time where timeline shifting has the wind at your back to help with that. And the other thing that we were talking about with that too is there's the potential. I mean, there's always a potential for time. I mean, you're shifting timelines. We're shifting timelines all the time. It's just we shift up, we shift down. That was a good day. This is a bad day. And we want to stay on the upper ones because they feel good, and we deserve to feel good. The other part is like there's also the quantum jumps, right? Which is the big shift, the quantum jump. So we're talking about practicing and embodying and being. A quantum jump is when you have that, you wake up one day and you're like, I'm going to quit my job today. And in that day, you are different. Or it can be also something tragic that happens and you're in another world. Or it can be, I woke up and I just knew today that I was different. And it's like it's the big leap, the big jump.
And would you say that it feels like, when you were talking, it feels like the quantum jump almost is happening when the timeline shifts that you've basically gotten to the point where your vessel, your container, is in a place for that moment to happen.
It's a couple of different ways. Yes, there is the timeline shift, the timeline shift, the timeline shift, the timeline shift. It's done. Mandira. We're opening it. We're shifting. We're doing this. Doors open. Jump.
Yes.
It's also awakening that could happen. It could be a part of your soul contract. It could be part of your karma, where people will wake up one day. You can't orchestrate this necessarily. You can't really. I mean, you can orchestrate the timeline shift. You can orchestrate, I'm ready to be this person. You can make the decision. People do make the decision. But the quantum jump that I'm talking about is like when you wake up and you're different.
Right.
Without all the practice, without all of and that happens, I think, I don't know, I guess that's a question for you too, like to think about from an astrology standpoint. I guess it would be personal. right? For you, like, when does that happen for people? Is it during like windows like this that it happens more, I wonder? And maybe we don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking of it now.
Right. I think, so basically when we talk about the planets are direct, that is happening to all of us, right? All of the planets and their placement right now is affects everyone's charts in different ways.
Right.
So, like I was talking about basically where Uranus was when it kind of hit my rising, right? Okay, we're cutting this out.
Uranus hit your rising?
Or not.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
Well, there's the planet of like kind of sudden transformation.
That's right. That's right.
And that if I were, I mean, and I do this sometimes, spiritual concepts, all are aligned with some kind of characteristic of a planet. And I think then that's by design. And so in my mind, when you look at where that planet kind of hits your chart, you can go back and look. And I did that yesterday. I looked at what was going on in my life and I opened element 50.
Yeah.
Like that is not a coincidence. And when I opened element 50, that changed my identity. I mean, I was not a crystal shop owner.
Right.
I was not someone who embraced this world. I wasn't closed off to it, but it was not my day to day, and it is now. I mean, this is where I live and breathe. So massive, massive quantum jump.
It's really, it can be conscious or subconscious, I think. And you're talking about the conscious,
and I think
quantum should jump.
Right. And in retrospect, of course, I thought I can look back and say like, wow. But at the time, I was just putting one foot in front of the other. And it's something that, I want to do this. And I had I had the courage, I had the wave, I had the wind at my back to do it. So
you also made a decision, and it's back to that attention, energy flows, attention. When you make a decision, no matter what's happening from an astrology standpoint, I think you're 100% supported. If you really make the decision.
Yes.
And it can't be, the decision, like as long as it's the decision, no matter what. And I think you did that.
I did. It felt, it was something that was inevitable. It felt inevitable to me. This is happening. And I mean, there were plenty of, why are you doing that? There's plenty of that.
Believe me.
But
from where I sit, believe me.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
And I'm like, this is what I'm doing. But it was a decision.
Yeah.
It's a decision. And
a brave one. A brave one.
It doesn't feel like it now, but at the time, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, a brave one. Do we need to go? I gotta go. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
this was fun.
Thank you.